Wake up, sports bettors. You think you have the winner? Well, don't you think it's time to put your money where your mouth is and make some cash? Well, put down the beer and head to BetUS.com for a 125% bonus, putting you ahead instantly. You'll make each sporting event more exciting by putting stakes on the line. Earn bragging rights over all your friends as you rake in the cash from each week's betting action. But don't settle for any other book. Choose America's favorite sportsbook with over 25 trusted years in the industry. You need a sportsbook with integrity and longevity, but more importantly, you need a sportsbook that pays. BetUS has your game with action on football, baseball, and basketball matchups, MMA, golf, horse racing, and even esports. No other sportsbook is as welcoming to newcomers as BetUS with their jaw-dropping sign-up bonuses. Sign up today with promo code Coach Talk to enjoy a 125% sign-up bonus up to $2,000, the best in the biz. Create an account to start making bets against the spread, future bets, prop bets, entertainment bets, live bets, and more. No other sportsbook in the industry is as committed to their users as BetUS. Sign up now and get on the winning side of the ball.
Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Saturday, September 19th. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am joined by my partner in crime here, Mr. Andrew Hansen, and we are bringing to you the podcast of the week, better known as the BetUS podcast from DFS Coach Talk. So we're very excited to be bringing that forward. We're very excited about our partnership at BetUS, and we're looking forward to tackling it. So we're always recording this generally almost 90% of the time the night before. So we're still pretty fired up, Andrew. What a heck of a night.
Yeah, it really was. Terrific night for us in the NBA on the showdown slate, both sites, winners everywhere. We gave out 2 lineups on FanDuel. They both cashed. And we had a lot of fun with our members because the GPP lineup was in first place in the big contest at halftime. So we were in a good spot there. Caruso just didn't quite do it in the second half. So that lineup just ended up cashing. But your game script really played out. You called it. You said Lakers were going to be up 20 in the third quarter. So most of the studs were going to sit out the fourth. Michael Porter Jr. was going to take over at that point and clean up in mop-up duty, and it really all played out well. So it was a really terrific night.
I'll tell you what, I was so relieved. I was nervous before the game because I felt good about it, but I made such a big fuss on the podcast about going out on a limb with a hot take and spoke for like 20 straight minutes, and it happened. So that was pretty awesome. But it was an awesome night. We did great. We were so close. Between the group of us, we were so close to a monster takedown, but that goes to show you on showdown slates like that, just a half a point or something just swings the whole entire deal. But it was awesome. And not only that is, we put out 2 lineups that were offered by DraftKings and FanDuel for 2-game slates, which was tonight's game and tomorrow's game. And man, oh man, are we sitting pretty in both of them, because we just played 4 guys, so we have half our team left. And I was looking, and that lineup is in the top 40 in some big contests, surrounded by people that only have 1 or 2 guys. So there'll be some people trying to chase us down, but we've got 4 full guys left in tomorrow. So our celebration tonight hopefully will carry on to tomorrow, and we'll keep going from there. But I'll tell you right now, I'm not going out on a limb for tomorrow's game, because I can't do it better than this one. I was very fortunate to get this one, so I'm not willing to be that gutsy, but I do have some good takes anyway. So
yeah, and the thing about a showdown slate is those lineups would have tied. We would have split the pot. But we would have split the pot amongst our group, a bunch of ways. I mean, there were a lot of us tied for first there at halftime. It was fun to scroll down and see all the DFS Coach Talk logos. So love to expand the family. If you want to jump in and get those lineups from us, just go to dfscoachtalk.com, grab one of our memberships week, month, year, or you can still get the fall special if you're big into football, and then that'll take you through the rest of the calendar year. And you get access to all of our sports. We don't just do NBA. We've been crushing it at NFL, MLB, and PGA. So love to have you join.
Absolutely. And again, this is the BetUS weekly podcast with DFS Coach Talk. So we're very proud of them. I'm pretty pumped too, because I called it out pretty heavy. Lakers -7.
Yes, that's
take
right.
It to the bank. I think that the comment was book it. And, got to do a little back swimming there just to relax at the end. Didn't even have to sweat anything out.
Right.
So that was pretty cool. But yeah, BetUS too. If you check them out, they are great. BetUS.com.pa. 125% match if you use the promo code Coach Talk, all one word, no space. And you can do that either on their site or go to dfscoachtalk.com and click on the banner. Terrific book, best in the business in around 25 years. I've been there 13, so I've got nothing but good things to say. And I don't recommend anything to our members that I'm not involved with myself. So it's a great spot to go. All right, we're going to go right into this game because we don't want Sugar Shane Caldwell teasing us about going so long on a one-game slate.
Right.
When you guys try to squeeze in like 100 football games, I don't know. What are you, like 13 or 14 games?
Right. Yeah, 13.
Podcast.
Yep.
Yeah. So we don't want to ruffle Sugar's feathers anymore, so we got to keep moving. All right. So tomorrow's game, as far as this matchup, we've got the lines up. I'm going to actually refresh this line so that we have the updated BetUS line. And we've got the Yahoo numbers are not up for pricing yet, but we do have them on FanDuel and DraftKings, which are the main two anyway. Okay, tomorrow's game. Boston Celtics are a 3-point favorite. They're -145 on the money line, and the over-under is 206.5. Implied total for Boston 105, for Miami 101.5. So, as everybody expects, a tight game, should be really intense. Sort of a, elimination type feel for the Celtics. They know, being down 3-0 is a death sentence. So they're going to come out with tremendous fervor here to try to take this one down. So this will be an exciting one. What's your shape of this game starting out?
Yeah, I like Boston here, and it's funny how they keep losing and the line keeps going in their favor.
Yeah.
So I do expect them to win this one. They've had double-digit leads in both games in the second half, and you hear about the unrest in the locker room. Marcus Smart getting fired up after game 2, and he put a charge into them. They're all going to look in the mirror, dig deep, and come out and put one away here. I wouldn't actually be surprised if they win this one by more than 10, and Miami just kind of throws their hands up at the very end, and they don't get that monster run spurred by their defense. So I think Boston will take care of business here. So I'm a little bit more interested in the Boston players. But
Okay.
the one big piece of news here is that Gordon Hayward is questionable.
I know.
He's been working hard on that rehab, trending in the right direction. And if he plays, as we know, that changes the usage in a big way. He may not start if he's going to play. They probably keep Marcus Smart in the lineup, starting lineup. Hayward will come off the bench, but he will take away from Smart, and he'll take away from Kemba a little bit with the usage and the ball handling. It certainly would impact Brad Wanamaker as well, who I know you want to play.
I'm not telling that joke for the third day in a row. So
Okay.
I'll give you a quick update on the player news for tomorrow as far as injuries go. Andre Iguodala is probable. He's had some back spasms, but he's more than likely going to suit it up. But back spasms, an older guy, it could limit his usage in this game a slight bit. Your lock washer 100% play Romeo Langford is out, by the way. So you're gonna have to scratch him.
Right.
And then, as you said, the news of the game is Gordon Hayward. It says here he felt good after a post-practice workout on Wednesday, and he's been progressing towards wanting to play in Game 3 from the beginning with this ankle. So, it sounds from just different things that I've read as well that I think they'll give him a little run, but I don't expect more than 10, 12 minutes, maybe 15 at the most. I know it feels like an elimination game for Boston, but the guy hasn't played, and it was a bad ankle injury. So, I mean, what do you think? Do you think that's reasonable, 12 to 15?
I don't think they're going to play him unless he can play 15 or 16 minutes. I think he'll come in and play 7 or 8 minutes, regular stint. I mean, we see that rotation a lot with starters and subs. Come in with about 3 minutes left in the first quarter, play till about 7 or 8 minutes left in the second, and then the starters come back in. So I think that's the role that they'll slot him into, and I don't think he's going to play unless he'll do that. So if he is confirmed in, and of course it's a one-game slate, so we're going to have that news, that's what I'll project him as. And on DraftKings, I think he's still a little bit pricey at 7.6, but on FanDuel, he's cheaper at 7,000. And obviously, players are more expensive on average on FanDuel because of the bigger budget. So, he's a little bit intriguing for GPPs over there. Going to have to keep playing with the lineup build a little bit.
Yeah, I just, I'm not comfortable enough probably to dial him up, as a cash player. Way too much risk there. Plus, even if he plays well, I still think it's limited. So I'll probably look elsewhere. But it does mess up the rotation for Boston a little bit. And you wonder who that's going to, take a little usage from. I did go back and look. I still don't trust that Hayward's minutes are going to be, that much. But if, let's just say for some bizarre reason, he did play 20 minutes, I agree that there's no question. I think Hayward, even in a limited role, it's definitely going to change that bench rotation. And looking back at the usage, and again, maybe with him playing so little, it might not have as much of an impact. But if he got 15 to 20 minutes, it will. And the usage hit goes to 2 people, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, based on. If you ever want to look that stuff up, guys, go to basketballreference.com. You can go back and look at scenarios of who was on the floor, what the usage was, etc. And, so that tells me that it, puts a little bit of a red flag for me with Brown and Smart in the sense that, that could be a few possessions. And we all know in a, one-game slate like this, you want to maximize every single possession down the floor. So I'm with you on, that information. It's going to be important to follow that tomorrow. Follow us on Twitter throughout the day. We're at DFS Coach Talk. I'm at Joe Sarvati. What am I at?
Yeah, you just have to spell it out.
I'm at JoeSarvadi. And Andrew is at Language Olympic. And Shane is at DET Sports Shane. All right. Also, catch us in Discord. That's the best place. Become a member, jump in, and we will follow that news because it may switch the last guy in, which can make a big difference in a showdown slate. All right. So that's on the Boston side. That's where you're looking to focus. I'm sure you're going to get some extra minutes for their main guys because they have to win this one. What about on the Miami side? What are you looking at?
On the Miami side, Bam has been the real steady guy here from the bigs. He's been winning that matchup against Tice and keep bringing back solid return on his price. Goran Dragic and Hero, their prices keep going up, but they've really played well. They're still cheaper than Jimmy Butler, and Dragic has been outscoring him in terms of fantasy points. So I am still interested in Goran Dragic, and still interested in Hero. We've seen him continue to finish the games, make big plays. So those are my two guys that I'm kind of considering and kind of fiddling with the builds on the different sites. It's working out a little bit differently between DraftKings and FanDuel, but Bam is there for me so far. So he's a guy that I haven't played as much as you, but he seems to make sense to me here in Game 3.
Yeah, I mean, his prices continue to go up. He's the second highest priced guy on the slate now, behind Tatum. On FanDuel, Tatum is 16, Bam is 15. So Bam's 1,000 more than Butler. On DraftKings, it goes Tatum 15.6, and then Bam 13.8, and then Butler 13.5. So, it makes it very difficult. A couple of things with Miami. I think that they'll continue rotating what's working for them, which they are playing like 9 guys. They're moving some people in and out. Hero's getting a ton of minutes off the bench, but Duncan's still getting his run. You're getting Kelly O contributing. And so, if it's not broke, they're not going to try to fix it. So I think that rotation will continue, which makes Miami not quite as conducive to building a stack with those guys in this game because of that rotation, as opposed to Boston, I think, leaning on their main guys to get a win. They need this to be 2-1. So the first thing I want to say is I'm with you on the Boston side. I want to have as much exposure to Boston as I can here from their main guys. But I do want to ask you a little bit of your opinion on this whole locker room incident, because it wasn't just one of those scenarios, because I read about it, looked up a bunch of stuff, checked out some of the Boston beat writers' comments and things. And, somebody coming into a locker room yelling at the team or whatever, that happens all the time. But I guess this was over the top from everything I read. I guess he was F-bombing everybody, throwing things, breaking stuff. Smart just lost it. And a couple of the guys from this, again, this is from what I read, so third source, but Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum took a little offense to the over-the-top antics to that point. Now, they all know who Smart is. Nobody's more intense than that guy, so I'm sure they give him somewhat of a pass. But the thing is, it wasn't just a burst when they first went into the locker room. The writers said after showers, before they were leaving, he had a second outburst where he was screaming at everybody and swearing. So I don't know. I mean, there's a point when, yes, you motivate your other players, and they look in the mirror, and then there's also a point where it becomes offensive, to insult to injury, if you will. None of them are happy about being down 0-2. So I just wanted to get your opinion on how you think Boston will react to this, because Stevens is a great coach, but he's very mild manners. He's not a yeller at all. And so this is going to be interesting. What do you think?
I think they're going to respond well. Tatum and Brown, I don't think they're going to want to get called out like that publicly. And when I mean publicly, I mean in the locker room, in front of the group, and just continue on their way and have a so-so game in Game 3. I think they're gonna say, I don't like what he said. I don't like how he said it. I don't like the fact that he said it to me. But that being said, I'm going to go out and crush it here. And this is a game we have to have, and those are 2 key guys. So I think they'll step up. They'll be aggressive on both ends. I think they'll come out with a lot of intensity, and that's why I think Boston will probably win this one pretty easily. So I guess it's my turn for a bold call.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, definitely. Take Boston minus the 3 is for a hot take from Mr. Hansen here.
Yeah, I don't know how hot of a take it is, but I'll say that, it wouldn't surprise me if they win by at least 10.
Okay.
How do you think they're going to respond?
I'm interested to see. I think we may see a little bit different reaction from different guys. I think Kemba's always been, a lead by example type of guy that steps up. So I think he'll have a better game this go around. I think he'll be one of the guys that reacts really well to it. Jaylen Brown is going to shoot, and he's one of those I never saw a shot I didn't like guys. So I don't think it'll affect him. The guy I'm most concerned about is Tatum, and it shifts my entire build if I go away from Tatum, which as of right now, if I had to make my lineup and lock it in, he would be the guy that I faded. And that was a guy that was my number one captain throughout, this run by Boston. But I just think that there are a few times, and again, I think Tatum is awesome, but the dude he's a baby. What is he, 22, 23? Yeah. He's a baby. So I think that you may see Kemba take the helm back a bit as the veteran, and Jaylen keeps shooting. And I think Marcus is going to play his ass off. I mean, you can't, call everybody out and then not bring the game the next go around. So, here's my thoughts right now. And it's going to be probably make or break with Tatum, but I would rather, my mid-level build, I don't like dumpster diving for guys, but I think you can put a combination of guys like Brown, Kemba, Dragic, Smart, Hero, Crowder, Tice, and even Duncan Robinson. That's that whole 4 through 11, and you can fit all those guys in there. If you don't play Tatum and you don't play Bam, then you've got, a lineup that are all going to play 30-plus minutes, and in Boston's case, 35-plus minutes for all those guys. And I think you can build a strong group out of that. That's the way I'm leaning. I don't want to go down specifically in this game. We make a joke of it, but I don't want to go to the Wanamakers or Williams or Derrick Jones Jr. or Nunn or Iguodala. I just don't think you have to go down to those guys. I think you can build it with 30, 35-minute plus guys in the Crowders, Heroes, Smarts, Dragic's and Browns, etc. So I'm looking for that mid-level build.
Yeah, that whole list that you mentioned, I think I'm going to plan to fade those guys as well and try to get more expensive, safe, solid guys.
Okay.
But
you mean the Wanamakers and down? I got you. Okay.
Well, the thing about Wanamaker is we joke, but he has played well the last 2 games and he's gotten about 24 minutes.
Yeah.
But his price has gone up, and if Gordon Hayward's in, he's the first guy who's going to lose minutes as a ball handler off the bench. So I'm not going to play Wanamaker.
Okay.
But the one guy we haven't mentioned yet as a value play is Enes Kanter. And
very interesting.
He was the big game plan change in game 2. They didn't play Robert Williams off the bench.
Crazy.
Stevens went with Kanter, and he only played 11 minutes, but he scored 16 fantasy points.
Yeah.
Hustling. He looked a little rusty on his first 2 possessions, but hustling, getting some easy baskets, some rebounds. And he's so cheap, especially on DraftKings. Okay, this is where it comes into play because he's only 1,600.
Wow.
So you can play him and get an expensive captain and then fill out your roster with a bunch of key guys. Whereas on FanDuel, where he's 6,000, he doesn't make quite as much of a difference. So I don't think I'm going to use him there, but I do think he's worth considering on DraftKings.
It's funny. I mean, we dig into him as much as anybody in the world, and no one said that was coming. Nobody saw Kanter getting minutes over Williams. So I haven't read about anything before or since. So, do you think that's this? Are they going to go back to that again?
I don't see why they wouldn't. I
know he was effective.
He was effective. The first play, he fumbled a pass to him, and then on the defensive end, he was late on the rotation, and he committed a foul. So it was a rough start. But then after that, I thought he settled in, and he's a veteran. He is a very good rebounder on both ends, and he knows how to finish at the basket. So you can trust him more than Robert Williams. Williams is more of a shot blocker and athlete, but after the way he performed, I don't see why you wouldn't go back to him.
Yeah, 1,600. It reshifts your entire roster. If you can get, all your top dudes by using him, and he gets you that 15 points again, but Man, that is, again, for a cash player, I don't have the gonads to go there because,
Yeah.
I mean, he played pretty much a perfect stretch of offense when he was in there. Can he replicate that in that time frame? That's a pretty tough call. Now, granted, he's a gifted scoring center and rebounder, not a good defender, but that doesn't matter for DFS. So, I wouldn't fault you at that 1,600 number. I definitely wouldn't go there for the 6,000, but definitely worth discussing. I think, for me, I'm going to go back to Tice probably again. I just, he's going to get the majority of those minutes, and I know he has time frames where he doesn't put up a lot of numbers, but he can also throw a quick block, rebound, and bucket in there too. So, I like that mid-level build with him also. So, all right. I mean, this is going to be interesting. I mean, this is a really interesting game with, pretty much the season on the line for Boston. Miami's going to feel like they're playing with, house money. So they're going to be relaxed out there, which could lead, to some good games from that side. But, my advice is go with the, Boston stronger, just because I think those guys are going to get heavier minutes. And, to me, you got to treat this game as an elimination game if you're a Celtic. So that is it. Anything else that you wanted to mention on this one?
No, that's it. Follow that news on Hayward and then jump in with us as a member in Discord to get the lineups before lock. Absolutely.
And again, we want to thank our wonderful sponsors at betus.com.pa. They are the sponsor of this weekly BetUS and DFS Coach Talk show. Also want to thank our entire team with the DFS Coach Talk group here. Guys behind the scenes just working their butts off. We're growing, doing multiple sports. And, the Bretts and Bryce and Laytons and Sugar Shane, he's always on there. He's the big, he's the chick magnet for us to get all the girls watching. But
yeah.
All those guys work hard. We really appreciate all of them, and they're doing a great job. Also, our charity of choice here is mambaon3.org, MAMBAONTHREE.org. Is a wonderful charity that we hope you support, set up by the Bryan family. Tomorrow's going to be fun. I'm really intense because I've got a core of those mid-level guys I'll share with you right now, because I'm hoping to have some takedowns on that little 2-game slate with yesterday's. And I won't sing it. I'm tempted, but Tyler Hero will want, he will want to be my hero tomorrow, I hope. And I had Marcus Smart in there before this, news of the blow-up shenanigans. So he's a guy. Of course, Daniel Tice, and then my fourth guy, Jay Crowder. So that's my mid-level build of guys that need to be able to follow up with LeBron and AD's huge performance today. So good stuff, Ben. We'll see if we can take it down. Hopefully you guys can build some lineups and use our advice. Hopefully you absolutely crushed it from last night's pod, and hopefully you put a few shillings on the old -7 Lakers. That would be wonderful as well. So terrific. Anything else that you wanted to say before we check out here?
No, thanks for all your support everywhere. iTunes and Spotify and YouTube. Appreciate all those likes and subscriptions. So let's keep rolling.
Yeah, and that's the last thing I'll mention. If you're watching us on YouTube right now, please hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to our channel. That's super important to us. And hit the little alarm button in the right side of the screen there. It will let you know when our podcast posts. And with all these podcasts going on with our sports we're covering, there are multiple ones going out there. So tomorrow we're excited. We've got awesome weekend sweat in golf. Our lineups are way up there in PGA. We gave out lineups with 3 of the top 5 guys right now in the tournament with Thomas, English, and
Patrick Reed.
Mr. Reed at 6% ownership. I love it. So we're going to have a big sweat there. Baseball's going to be firing tomorrow. Of course, the hoops are number one puppy. And then Sugar Shane and Andrew will be getting ready with football because Monster Sunday coming. So we appreciate everybody tuning in. Appreciate the likes, the thumbs up. Please do that. We have a monthly giveaway. Last thing I'll mention on that we choose in 13 days. We'll pick the next 1 month winner of a subscription from those that post 5 stars on iTunes and give us a little comment or put a positive comment and a thumbs up on Spotify as well. So that is it, my friend. We are out of here. Enjoy your Saturday. Can't wait to see how these games all turn out. We'd love to have you. DFSCoachTalk.com. Come and join us, and let's take down all the money. So we will see you again tomorrow because we're 7 days a week here. We don't take a day off. We got to make it every day. Got to make the money in DFS. So we will see you tomorrow when we look to crush it in DFS.